My name is Becky Wilson, and I'm going to be reflecting on my classmate Casey Hendricks' research questions. And so I'm going to go ahead and get started. He asked, can video self-reflection for social studies lessons lead to effective classroom practices by teachers to purport new social studies standards in grades 6 through 12? And the first thing I'd like to say is that I had a great time interviewing Casey and discussing his research project with him. And so here are some of my thoughts in regard to it. First of all, the research question that he asked is very clear, it's appropriate, it's suitable and feasible. And I will tell you, because of my background in K through 12 as well as his, it does seem very easy to understand exactly what he's talking about. His research question does make a specific question about the problem under study. And the problem under study is the implementation of the new state social studies standards. Now, the research question does in fact focus the interest of the researcher, and it's very evident by talking to him that he is passionate about this and it has become a life work for him. The research question does not directly include the methodology that will be used. However, I can tell that there will be video footage of the teachers and they're expected to do self-reflection on their lessons, as well as using some sort of rubric in order to judge themselves on the implementation of those standards. The research question does name the variables to be examined. The dependent variable is effective classroom practices, and the independent variable is video self-reflection. The general kind of research that Casey is proposing is action research. He chose it because of the district's widespread professional development that has simply not produced effective classroom implementation or improvements of those new social studies standards. Casey will be using mixed methodology for his research. In regard to the qualitative research, he's going to be doing self-reflections for the teachers, as well as analyzing the language of those self-reflections through coding programs. Also, he's going to be doing quantitative research in regard to assessing values of the standards being achieved. A strength of Casey's research question is that he is pursuing a problem that will create a beneficial action plan, not only for his district, but districts throughout the state of Louisiana. The current Louisiana social studies standards are ancillary standards, and so I feel like he would definitely be able to use those standards in deciding if implementation is improving or not. A weakness of his research question, though, is the subjectivity that may be produced from the teacher's self-reflections. The compass rubric that Casey is considering using is also subjective to the evaluator. This would produce a human issue of error if the self-reflection is skewed. And finally, finding a reliable instrument to measure if the practices are effective at meeting the new standards may prove to be limited. And these are some of the things that Casey and I discussed in regard to his research question. Thank you.